This is the Retirement Solution Podcast with financial advisor Jon Hicks, founder of J. Hagan Capital.
Why is it that even the most successful just can't seem to ease up, unclench, and relax for retirement? Is a question that you battle regularly, Jon Hicks. I want to bring up this article that I read on marketwatch.com because it is baffling, but I feel like you're going to hear it and you're going to be like, yeah, tracks. So this guy, he's 71 years old. He wrote into an advice column on marketwatch.com. He is retired. He has $2.7 million in an IRA, $470,000 in stocks, a pension that pays him $4,000 a month. His Social Security also pays him $4,000 a month. His house is paid off and worth $750,000. And he has a part-time job. And he says he cannot relax because he's worried about running out of money. And one hears this setup, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, this guy has got it good. He is living the high life. And he's standing here going, nope, I am stressed all the time.
Absolutely. The amazing thing is a lot of folks have a really tough time trying to figure out how to bridge the gap or the difference between I've been working every day, putting all this money into my 401k, growing all this big pile of money, to go from there to all of a sudden a psychological shift of now I need everything that I've been doing to end. I'm not going to be feeding this beast anymore. And instead, I needed to start sending me money. Instead of me feeding it, I need it to feed me. And the craziest thing is that, Heather, it doesn't matter if someone has saved hundreds of thousands or millions or even, not a joke, tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It just changes everything. It's not a financial issue, although it feels like one, because it's always about money, money, money in our head. But believe it or not, it's a psychological issue. A psychological issue because all of the things that we've been doing for the past 20, 30, 40, 50, some of us 60 years of work and putting money away and waiting for a rainy day to use it or waiting for a retire. And all of a sudden, we're disrupting that 40, 50, 60 years, all because things are about to shift. So here's a crazy thing. Do you know, and very few people would know this, do you have any idea who Hetty Green was?
No.
Oh, it makes sense. She passed away in 1916.
Oh,
But
wait, now I think I do know who Hetty is. Please continue.
There we go.
Okay.
Hetty Green passed away in 1916. She was considered and called the Witch of Wall Street. She was one of the most wealthy, if not the wealthiest female in the world when she passed away in 1916. She was worth supposedly a little over $100 million back then, which today would be over like $3 or $4 billion. Here's the crazy thing. She was called the Wicked Witch or the Witch of Wall Street because she was notoriously so frugal, so crazy, so bent on saving pennies that frankly, it destroyed her life. So most people don't know the story, but I can't remember what year it was. She had a son. I think it was her only son. I think his name was Ned, if I'm remembering the story right. Well, Ned had an issue with his leg. So even though Hetty Green was an unbelievably wealthy person, she went to the free clinic with her son. Free clinic with her son to have his leg looked out. Here's the craziest thing. They told her, hold on, when they found out who she was, Hetty, whoa. You got all this money. This is a free clinic. You're going to need to pay. She ran out, didn't pay the bill, and started doing the medical procedures on her own. Here's what happened. Her son ended up getting an infection and ended up having to get the leg amputated. Now, the reason I'm saying all of this is because even though this is a crazy, outlandish story, it happens every day because it is not financial. It is psychological, the things that happen to us as human beings. So this is a lady who wanted to be so frugal. She was so worried about all the money things that she basically caused, in all honesty, she caused her son to lose his leg because of being so mentally unready for this concept, right? So this is what happens to all of us when it gets to retirement. All the things that we've been doing, the working, putting money away, it changes, and now we need to pull from it. And for the first time in our lives, we start to freak out. We start thinking, did I save enough? Because every month, the cost of beef keeps going up. The cost of gas may keep going up. The cost of oil, all these things keep going up. Airline tickets, vacations, and that's not even including just cell phone bills, more taxes on things like communications and Federal Trade Commission stuff. It keeps adding up. And guys, it is a mental exhaustion, right? So when people say, oh my gosh, I just don't know what I'm going to do next, I'm freaking out. I see it all the time, every day. And so one of the biggest and most fundamental things that any skilled and holistic advisor can do is show people the actual math and to go ahead and try to put to bed some of those biggest fears. Because sometimes you have to see what would happen, what would be the worst case scenario at this point. And when some people see, like the gentleman we're just talking about, $2.7 million in this, pensions, Social Security, all those things, in his mind, his whole point is, but how do I know? How do I know it's enough? What happens if the administration changes things? What happens if Congress changes things? What happens if there's a flip-flop in a midterm? What happens long after that? What happens if another party comes in office? What happens if we have a geopolitical nightmare? What if we don't, do this, do that? And we just all of a sudden get flummoxed, and it causes us to make poor decisions. But the craziest thing is there are 3 things that every single one of us can do to not only feel better about things going on, to actually live life in the next paradigm, which is the paradigm of being able to retire. Number 1, you have to do the math. You have to see the math on paper. Number 1, how much of your money is protected? How much income can it create? And what is the likelihood that even if there's a down movement in the market, or inflation keeps going crazy, or interest rates, the whole point is you want to stress test it just to be certain that you have 9.9 out of a 10 scale of being able to hit your goals. So mathematically, number 1. Number 2, you want to know where the income's coming from, right? So whether you're deciding to work on some crafts and sell them on Etsy, or you're wanting to go flea market and find, the diamonds in the rough and find a $200 credenza that you finish up and you can sell for thousands of dollars, whatever you want to do, part-time work, pension income, dividend income from your portfolio, all those things, you want to know where's that income coming from. And lastly, you want to make sure, how do you keep it away from the government? How can you know if you're going to generate 50 or 60 or 80 or $100,000 of income? How can you know that you get to spend it and it's not going to go for more tax bills or just more bills, right? So that is what a skilled holistic advisor should be doing. It should be based on a process, not on a product. I have rarely, if ever, seen products fix people's issues when it comes to psychology, but I see math fix it every single day. If we've done the hard work of saving the money, and then we've done the second hard work, which is using the plan and the procedures on how it gives us that money, guys, we can basically relax every day knowing our floor of what our income should be in retirement, and then knowing if we wanted to blow it out, and lift really high off the hog for the first 3, 5, 7 years of retirement, we can know what that looks like too. And if we do that correctly, it's really hard to overspend, but it's all about psychology. This is one of those things that even if someone's been awesome at saving money, they've got millions of dollars sitting in a bank account or in their 401k or in their IRA accounts. This is where it is really good to find out, how do you take that big old pile of cash and how do you turn it into a true plan and a process to not only give you money for you to live off in retirement, but allow you to do all of the things that you want to do. And what I tell my family too is, listen, guys, we can't do everything, but there's a chance that we can do most things we want to do if we plan well for it. That is a life worth living, because we get out of the fear, out of the psychological parts of things, and into the real life of the math, which is easy to compute. We can all do that, but we have to start at the phase 1 first, which is finding out what we really want to do and getting to that point.
John and his team here to help you with that math. RetirementSolutionShow.com is our website, or you can just click on the links we've got posted in the notes. Thinking about the psychology of it all, the story you told about the woman, the Witch of Wall Street, somebody listening to that story is going to scoff. I would never do that to my child or my grandchild. I will take care of my family. And to that, we say, of course you would never do that to your child. But think about this, dear listener. Turn the mirror on yourself. What are you doing as far as your own health deprecation? Because I know that's another conversation you've had to have with people, John.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's as simple as, go getting insoles for your shoes. And I know they're expensive, guys. I mean, really great places, they're $300, $400, $500 for really good orthotics. And people won't spend that, amazingly enough, when we talk to them and they realize, oh my gosh, I do have enough money to do that. And they get those new insoles for their shoes, their back pain goes away. They feel like moving around more. They feel like hanging out with their grandkids. They feel actually like going to that ball game to watch their grandkids play, simply because of a $400 or $500 or $600 investment that they've been unwilling to make in themselves because they didn't feel like they had permission to spend it. That's what really great advisors can do. They can help weed through, hey, what are great expenditures or even investments even into your health or your opportunities or your bucket lists, as opposed to just looking at everything as an expense. But I see it every day. People just being, unhappy or ill content in retirement because they don't realize that they should have permission to spend on those things. Those are the biggest pieces of the puzzle, where even great savers and people that are even good with investments, they really need to get a second opinion and a second set of eyes on things so they can see, oh my gosh, I see what you're saying, John. I've got 4 pairs of shoes. And even if I spent $600 on each 4 of those pairs of shoes for new insoles, that's less than $2,500, and I would actually live my life without pain and I'd actually be more mobile. Yes. Or maybe going downscaling or changing homes from a 2-story where you got to go up and downstairs every day to just a ranch, or maybe a patio home, or maybe find those things that improve life. But guys, those are not expenses. Those are investments in yourself. And what you want to find is an advisor who just doesn't talk about investments. It's what can those investments do to actually improve the quality of your life. That's what it boils down to. That's why it's always a process over a product.
It's a plan above all else. That is the difference of having the confidence, giving yourself the permission to spend, and enjoying yourself in this next phase. Is what Jon and his team are here to help you figure out in a plan of your own. If you've got questions, if you're ready to get to work on these things he was pointing out, doing the math, knowing where the income is coming from, having a tax plan to protect your savings, reach out. RetirementSolutionShow.com is the website. You can click on the links we've got posted in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Solution Podcast with Jon Hicks. Begin the conversation about your savings plan with Jon and the team at J. Hagan Capital by visiting retirementsolutionradio.com. Be sure to listen to Jon's radio show, The Retirement Solution, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. on News Radio 840 WHAS.
J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is licensed in your state, please call 502-690-5635. J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through J. Hagan Capital, LLC, NPN number 188279094.